Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris, and we are back here with our flat save in America. After saying goodbye to Brex and Hague, it's time to concentrate on the rest. I decided, after looking over things, that really we weren't doing too much in the way of 4-year-old racing this season. I just didn't feel like anyone looked like they do too much and win a big race to make it worthwhile. Um, yeah, I don't want to run just for the sake of running. We do have Hague and Stormin in the breeding barn. Hague's just going to sit there in case we get another horse in there that he hasn't bred with yet. Stormin, I decided to breed with Seeker Violetta, who's got phenomenal punch capability with 80% extra speed and pretty much full potential. Um, yeah, yeah, she is kind of scary now, considering you've got Ingleby Star and Hague, the only two that are really bred with us. So if Eve is still there, we'll breed with Eve and so on. We'll do little bits, but I didn't realize she hasn't actually bred with that many. So putting her in the barn with Reams Fillet, Voronova Tycoon, Plateau Brex, I think all kind of makes sense to me. We still got Terry, Morden, and Reams in there. Sorry, and Morton in there, and they're producing decent yearlings the entire time. So yeah, I feel pretty good about doing that. The rest of the male 4-year-olds just decided to kind of be done with them. I don't think they were all like great. And yeah, I don't know. I just didn't feel there was too much in the way of questions left to answer with them in particular. So that does leave me with it's 4 3-year-olds that I really am not sure on in terms of their distance right now. But I like Eve's Secret a lot. I'm really hoping they don't just sit at 7 furlong. But we are going to test out a little grade 3 Kitten's Joy, a little more than 7 furlong, just to see, can we get distance? Can we fill out that potential? Because if she does jump, then I think that will be really good. Ancient Secret just didn't do a ton, but they could win at a mile too. So between them and Eve's Era, I kind of feel like maybe something's there, but I'm not sure, and I'm waiting to see. Eve's Water is yet another one. Um, and all the Eve's Era horses really are in this boat. I think they all look to be about 7 furlongs. So the Dubai Trophy is just a conditions race, but it's, can we go in a difficult location early in a 3-year-old season out to Dubai, win this, and just kind of see what we're like, and maybe again gain a bit of potential and just test 7 furlongs. So kind of no pressure on any of these races really. Eves Morton exactly the same, probably 7, looks like 7, everything screams 7, little bit of potential. Let's try a 7 on grade 3 turf. It's supposed to be raining, so I hope that doesn't kind of ruin the track and impede these Morton, but that might be the case. Pretty much everything I'm booking here is like showers or rain, and so far heavy showers, rain showers, heavy rains. Anything early in the season here, we're kind of in a little bit of an issue with. There is the Queen's Plate that I thought maybe I should run. Very tempted, but I really don't know if they're a miler, and I don't just want to throw them in and then have to test for quality later. I think they're milers. feel like they are. I think that's kind of what I've got to test first. So that's Morton, and then Modern Eve, 7, 7, possibly 7. A lot of potential to make up here. And a tough trip again, another conditions race, but a tough trip closer to a mile. So we're just testing a little bit of difference in like distance, adaptability, going will be a question here, and also just of course quality. So those four I'm not entirely sure on. Looking good early on. I mean, they both also got grade 1, so it shouldn't be that much of a surprise, but Candy Star is really interesting. So I've got a group 2 handicap. And again, another trip to South Africa and a tough run, but I think stats wise, they look really, really good. And then Stardrom again, decent bars here. Like here would normally be a mile, here would be a mile 1. We're in the middle. I'm leaning it might be a mile 1, but I am going to try a mile. I'm going to try a conditions race because I don't know. If we win that comfortably, then maybe I should have gone for the Queen's Plate. But this is the one I'm trying to be a little safer with to try and get a good run and get potential on because we do need extra potential as well. So, kind of interesting. Hague Morton looks okay. We're going to run a 5 because I don't feel comfortable with either that. I don't know what they're going to do. Hey, Candy, really solid. Terry like 6 furlongs. I kind of think they might be. Zaynab Morton like 7, so I tend to stick on the odd numbers there. And 5E light 7, so I'm kind of sticking there on the odd number as well. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But we've got 3 maidens, and then we've got a bunch of tests, a couple of grades, but nothing crazy. No grade 1s. Just a couple of tests, condition races, trips to South Africa, little bits early on in the season where we don't fully know kind of what to expect or what's going to happen. And the fact that I'm breeding with just one of everybody and just seeing what happens. I don't love any of these horses. I don't think any of these horses are going to be blowing our minds. So I'm just happy to see what comes of them. And like I say, Eve's Era with Seeker Violetta, I think is going to be the play. And then also with Voronova Tycoon. I feel that makes sense to me. I feel that makes sense. And then, yeah, with everybody else, we're probably just going to go with Storm and Wanted and breed the rest next season, unless something really good comes out of the game bred sires, because we never know what's going to come there. So I think that being said, we just jump in, watch a few races, and kind of get an initial look at this class of 3-year-olds and figure out what they're doing, and at the same time just trying to guide our 2-year-olds into a good position. So Eve's up against a few grade 1 winners in this grade 3, and so there aren't that many good races. That's why you do get this high caliber of horse in a grade 3. But it is 7 furlong, 110 yards for the kitten, and we will go out towards the front. And I do like Eve's Secret a lot, I've got to say. I think it's become my favorite of the secrets, of the Eve horses. All 4, we got Secret, Water, Morton, and Modern. And I do like this one a lot, and we're just going to storm on out of here. Robe Hallery, good will run into second, but that's just a really, really nice win. 6 grading points, a little bit of potential. I can't ask for anything more. That's a good first race. And I do need to get these 3-year-olds ratings up a little bit as well. I think normally 105, 106 gets you into the Derby. I kind of want to make sure everyone's above that rating in case. And we'll kind of see. But I think that's a good start. I say I do like this horse. I do like this horse a lot. And if it is raining, if it is a slower track, we might have even more of a shot. I just don't know if he jumps. I don't know. But he's there. It says a mile, but could win at a mile 1, mile 2. So I'm going to say his error really is a mile 1 instead of that mile. And then Ancient Secret could win at a mile 1 to a mile 2. So I'm hoping. I'm hoping the breeding's there just to push up, but we're gonna have to wait and find out. To be honest with you, that's all there is to it. We're just gonna have to wait and find out. Candy Star, trip to Kenilworth. I hate going here with a 3-year-old, but yeah, it's not Group 1. Omron's Queen Plate I'll go after, but other Group 1s in South Africa, I think, are really, really tricky early on in the season. This is a Group 2 handicap. We're well overweight. We're going to pull back some of that advantage with a rookie apprentice jockey. Other horses are carrying too much weight. I don't know. I would be surprised if we weren't the best horse in this field. But it's kind of, how do we run? And is Candy Star a mile 1 horse? Or are we already at a mile 2? So I feel like it's a mile 2. So this is a bit of a test in a couple of ways. And we're just going to have to see what happens. But we are out nice and clean. Peace Castle at the front with my Matariq Tinker. And we got Enchant Turner, Omega Watt, and Catherine Accelerate at the rear. We're just in behind the leader now. Sandwiched in between Peace Castle and my Matariq Tinker at the moment. 3 from home. As we now start coming into our own. 2 furlongs to go. Powering past Peace Castle. It looks like maybe Omega Watt from deep is going to try and come up as well. We still haven't shook Peace Castle. Well, we're into the final furlong. They do seem to be dropping away very slowly. Omega Watt coming up. Half a furlong to go. 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1, point less. Omega Watt takes it. But Candy Star ran well. Not amazingly well. Didn't have great burst at the end. Didn't really fade much at the end. I don't feel like Omega Watt had blistering pace at the end either. So maybe we were fading. They also could be disqualified and hand us a strange win. They're not. They're going to take this win. Yeah, jockey feedback's going to be interesting on this. We carried extra weight. We didn't really tire. We kind of got up. Tripsuit did perfectly because we struggle for pace. Yeah, I feel like maybe that's a cusp for the 2, you know. A mile 1, mile 2. Because yeah, Terry liked 7. Ingleby Star liked a mile 4. They won a 2, they won a 1-6, but mile 4 realistically. Huh. Yeah. Okay. That's right in between a mile 1, mile 2, really, isn't it? If Terry's at 7, we got mile 4. We're right in the middle. Yeah. Mile 1, maybe a mile two should have the adaptability for both. Unless we jump, I don't see Candy Star doing much in the Belmont at a mile four. Like I say, that the thing here is a mile two, a mile one. We're in that same boat with Eve Secret, but without the adaptability. Again, I doubt the Belmont would be in play, even if the other two races are. It's a lot easier to get the Derby and the Preakness at a mile two and a mile 110 yards. They're very close together. And then the trip to a mile four for the Belmont, that's the interesting one. And if I look here again, Eve's Era and Horn of Water, and I would say because of the grade two, like that is a mile horse, and then the mile one. I don't know if Eve's Water ever jumps. And Stardrum's already in this weird place, 100% in the weird place, and 7 furlong, Ingleby Star, again the mile four, and again we're kind of in that mile one to mile two range that is really kind of interesting, but again, Eve's Water has no distance adaptability, and Stardrum has a little bit. And already won a grade one, looks good. So, yeah, Drom, Star, and Secret, I would say, kind of look like they could be okay for the Derby and Preakness-ish. Mile one and probably a mile one, if we're honest. So, Morton with okay adaptability. And in Modern Eve, we know this is Plateau Brex in a different guise, slightly different, missing a little bit of what made Brex special. But we know the distance could be there, and a mile one, probably from both, just not really the qualities at times, and no distance adaptability. But Brex had extra to make up for that. But yeah, unless someone surprises us, unless someone jumps, and have your say in the comment section below if you see what I'm seeing. I'm really not sure we've got a Belmont runner. Now, I know the Belmont usually has one, maybe two mile four horses in it, or a mile three horse in it. That could, that can change things a little bit, and they'll run well. And really, you're just trying to outlast the mile one, mile two horses that ran the Derby and the Preakness anyway. So it's less adaptability than going into a true mile four, I would say. Just because of the prep races and the way the Derby and Preakness funnel into it, and all the mile ones do as well. You know, the Florida Derby, the Santa Anita Derby, the Arkansas Derby. Like they go into the Kentucky Derby, which filters in, and then the prep races for the Preakness are all also a mile one. They'll filter in and push into the same place. So I think you end up with a lot of mile one, mile two horses in the Belmont anyway. But we don't have anyone I think would feel comfortable there. So, yeah, there is that. Hague Candy and Hague 5e. I like both of these. I believe 5e and Morton are at 5 and Candy's at 6 furlongs. And we win both early. So Hague 5e. Short-headed. Ooh. Don't love that. And don't love the fact that they ran on. It is a win. But I don't know quite how to deal with that. And this is what, 4-5? No, only 2 1/4. I was really hoping for big, impressive maidens. We got a short head, and then we got 2.25 here. I think the distances might be right too. I'm not 100% convinced on that, but I don't think we're far off. 5e might want 6, but I don't see it. Yeah, Morton should be at 5 here at Keeneland. Do you want more? You did weaken. You were a long way back. Didn't have the pace. Okay. I think I just move it along a bit and run you at Monmouth. I feel that might make sense to me. Okay. So very interesting that, we got 2 maidens that we win. One, the distance might not have been right, which is why we don't win. Until it's proven otherwise, that's kind of how I'm going to see that. Eve Secret wins. Candy Star with a very useful second place in a weird test. Now we're going to fly out to Dubai, and we got the Dubai Trophy and the 2,000 guineas. And I'm not convinced on either one of these. But we are testing for distance. And I think that's just what this comes down to. It's are we 7 furlongs or a mile? Or are we going to see somebody jump? We're 9 pounds overweight, but sure, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a great field. But yeah, if we can run well but not great and come in second and get true feedback, I'll be happy. Problem with winning is usually the jockey's just like, I love this, and you don't get feedback on distance. I would still prefer to get feedback. We won, it was easy, but I feel like this was stretching our limits a little. Something like that would be, I think, great feedback to have. We might get our wish here inside the final furlong. Finley Chow is just about there. Eves Water catching up though, and now just kicks on. Absolutely kicks on. Yeah, difficult for me to say 7 or a mile. Tardy start, still got up, did okay, looked good. Triple spot on today. It's perfect. Yeah. I don't know. We went rather late. Maybe we do run late, or maybe that was a miler that naturally would kick on after that long of running. And so instead of running that final half a length, half a furlong, it was getting its kick on to start the final 1.5 furlongs. Very tough to kind of judge that, unfortunately. Stardrom over a mile. I think again, whether or not we fared at the end, although we're in this really weird spot with like 25 to 30 stamina, whatever it is. It's somewhere around there, right? So we're a little above what you'd expect a mile, but could still be 7 furlongs or a mile. Or it could be up to a mile 1. It's in this really weird spot, and we're running right in the middle at a mile, which what I think it is. I'm leaning towards a mile 1, but again, if we win, we probably won't get massive feedback, and I don't know. Indie dressing coming up quite well here. We've gone away quite well, and now we're holding off quite well into the final furlong and driving out. I would say if we were 7 furlongs, this might look a little different. We are slowing down a little bit at the end. Is that because of our distance? I don't know. We won very comfortably. I'm going to say probably a mile feels good. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I kind of feel like these distances might have all been right, you know. A mile for you, a mile one for you. Even though I think you're a mile two, you could be a mile one, but I think a mile kind of suited you there. And then 7 and 7 kind of fit, or that's halfway between 7 and 8. So we're not really answering a ton of questions here. We got Morton, I believe, is running 7 in a grade 3. Yep. And then Hague Morton has got her different maiden. And then we got this 7 conditions race. So, okay. Tampa Bay Downs is supposed to be like raining heavily, or it had a chance to rain heavily, which could mean that we're gonna have a bit of a muddy track. We're on turf too. Yeah, we could definitely have a muddy track. Top rated, top weighted. Diego is laid back. Nobody knows these horses. And we're just gonna have to run this little grade 3-7 furlong and find out. Doesn't look like it is raining. Looks like it's dry at least. So, no muddy track. Well, unless it's been raining a lot. We go straight out to the front. And we are really stretching that. Avdala Forts really has to work to come with us and then is being pushed back. And now comes Diego and Buckle. People getting ready, but we'll see. Does anyone have a big kick at the end of this race? It looks like Silverine Dusted is there, but doesn't seem to be closing. Giorgio Buckle just head on camera falling back. And Yves Morton is just very calmly, very coolly, very demurely winning the race. Just really simple. No issue. No fuss. Big win. 7 furlong just feels right. It just feels right. Still think they could jump. They could jump. I do kind of feel like we've got so many horses in that 1 mile 1, 1 mile 2 range. I expect going into the Derby, I'd have 4 or 5 names I'd be willing to put up. And then I guess Stardrome would be my number 1. Candy Star possibly number 2. And then maybe just Eve's Secret number 3, although if they do continue to keep going, they might overtake Stardrome and Candy Star. I really need you to jump. Please, Stardrum, please. I need your potential up here, so I'm not guessing over this mile or not. Yeah, yeah. Just everybody jump. Everybody jump to like 55 to 65 potential for me. Yeah, everybody go sit at like a mile 2 for me. Just, let's go. Let's go. And after this race, all the 2-year-olds, let's just jump to a mile. Let's just get her over and done with, please. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? It would be nice. Monmouth Park, Hague Morton didn't quite look right at 5. Gonna run at 6. Gonna see. Kind of gonna watch this just so I can see how they run and figure out if 6 is right or not. It's not a terrible start. It's when do they go and when do they fade? Because if they do fade pretty badly and they're not powering through the line, then it's more likely to be a 5. Yes, we're still kicking on now. We're into the half a furlong from home. There's a little hesitation before line now. It looked like maybe we're just easing up, but maybe that's because we'd already won. It's a little tough to get. It is a little tough to get. Also, this is a soft track, and that was not great either. We might want to find something on dirt for Hague Morton and really kind of figure out where we're going. But yeah, I didn't love that. So maybe you are a 6 because that seems to fit. We're almost at 70 potential. Would be nice to kind of get everybody up. 5E's not far off. And Candy's there. So, yeah. Yeah, depending how we do over the rest of our year for the 2-year-olds, I do think that potential-wise we can be in the right range. Distance is always a guess. But not a bad start at all. I don't feel too bad about that. And the 3-year-olds, I can't really complain with 1 second place and a bunch of firsts. Even though the race quality wasn't super high, we're kind of doing the right things. So hopefully Modern Eve in Turf Paradise lives up to that. Little interesting one. I thought this was abroad for some reason, but it's at Turf Paradise. It is muddy. We do like a slower track. That's okay then. So that shouldn't affect us. And again, we're kind of 7.5 furlongs, really. Or 7.25 furlongs. So even at a mile, we might be kind of okay at this distance. It's not really too indicative either way. Got Agincourt at the front with Spot Miracles. Got Sonsi Sweet in behind them. And Buckner's and Casper's at the rear. The grey Spot Miracle up our inside. We're kind of wedged in a little bit. And having to come to the outside. The final furlong then. Can Modern Eve power on and do something? It doesn't look like it right now. But there you go. The final half of furlong. But there's not much there. There's not much there. We're just about going to hold on for second. We just never looked like taking first. We did well. We did have a little bit of blockage. Nothing to like really slow us, but it wasn't the cleanest of runs, and we finished a length back. But I don't feel like that was quite right. Yeah. That's what I expected. That is what I expected. To be fair, that race 100% felt like we weren't quite at the right pace. Okay. So that gives me a mile 1 or 2 with Candy Star. Probably a mile right now with Stardrom. And probably a mile with Modern Eve. And Eve's Water, Eve's Secret, and Eve's Morton are all 7 furlongs. And then Hague Morton and Hague Candy are currently 6 furlongs with 5e at 5, which makes sense. 5e, 5. And the Eves are 7. And then Modern and Drom are a mile. Candy Star is a mile 1 to 2. So, okay. What have we got here on the group races for a 2-year-old? We got a 5. And we got 2 6s. I mean, that feels way too close for Hague. That's what, like 8 days? We could be good, I guess. It doesn't kind of feel right, but yeah, could be okay. Who do I like best out of Water and Morton? I think Water just is a little bit more to them right now. So 7 furlong. It's grade 3 and a grade 2. I like Secret. One I like Water. I was kind of hoping there'd be like a filly race in there so I could get Morton booked in. And then Modern Eve might be at a mile. So is Star Drum, I think. And yeah, I don't think there's a ton. I don't think there's a ton. I'm willing to go to the end of the month to get that grade 2 test for Stardrum. And I got filly races here, including this grade 2 for Modern Eve. And then Risen Star. I don't mind that. I don't mind it. Or do I test a mile 2? I think it might be more useful to test mile 2. Because if we can find out that, if Candy Star wins that race and we look good at a mile 2, right now I think we've got a couple at a mile who could easily jump. And Drom's so close. And we've got, what, 3 prep races, I think, haven't we? We've got the Florida Derby, the Arkansas Derby, and the Florida, Arkansas. I can't remember the other Derby prep race. Mile 1, grade 1. But there are 3. Santa Anita? It might be Santa Anita. So I do get a couple of jumpers. I'll know what Candy Star's like at a mile 2 anyway. And that allows me then to test Drom and Eve in those with whoever jumps, hopefully Secret. It makes sense to me. It might not make sense to you. I hope it does. I do like to try and explain as I'm going through this to kind of get my thoughts out there so you can kind of follow along. If you disagree, if I'm missing something, if you don't understand something, please do leave a comment. While you're there, please do smash that like and subscribe button. It is huge for the channel and for, just growth and engagement. Really does help out a ton. Takes a second and costs you nothing. And if you are willing to spend, we do have memberships, and I'm hoping to add some kind of cool stuff into those tiers as people start signing up. So consider it if you can. I do appreciate the support as always. And I think I'm pretty good, yeah. I kind of want to find something for Morton, and I don't like anything this year. My only other thought is trying at a mile. I'm not super thrilled with that. But I think to get another race in, I'll be okay. Santa Anita, Gulfstream. So I'm guessing then Calvin's going to Gulfstream, which means I need to find a jockey for Hague Candy. It might be Landeros. I'm not going to give instructions. Pretty good feedback. Top end skill. I could go elsewhere. I think we're just going to do that. So then we've got 5e and Candy Star. So I would hope Candy Star gets Calvin, and they do. And then Hague 5e. Again, then we're trying to find someone. So we might as well just book Landros there. And we're kind of good for the rest of the races. So on the 1st and 9th of February, we're going to split up. And the two-year-olds are going to get ridden by Landeros, and we'll see kind of how he does. And Calvin just takes the rest as usual. Yeah, everyone's bred, everyone's good. We can just carry on and just get some racing done. And learn a lot more about these 2- and 3-year-olds. Eves Morton. I don't love the way I've named these because I kind of doing it so I can remember bloodlines and stuff, and that is super helpful. But I do have like Candy Star and Star Drom, and so yeah, usually I'd be putting the sire's name as the first one, so it really should be Star Candy, but I didn't like that, so I went Candy Star. And the same with Eves, because I think Modern Eve, but I've got Eve's Secret, Eve's Water, Eve's Morton. So, and then the fact that I'm breeding with other horses, I've got other Eves and other stars, and the 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds have similar kind of names, and I'm sitting here like Eves Morton. I'm like, wait, are they 2 or 3? I think they're 3. Are they 3? Oh, just a little too confusing. So we might start a different way of doing some of the names to find out. But ooh, Drizzly, Dania Beach. 1 mile grade 3 for 3-year-olds upon the turf in the rain here in Florida. Gulfstream Park, I believe. I think it's Gulfstream. We're off decently against the rail. We've got Salon Fire Perceptive and before Telma. Then back to Campesi Maria, Zamacote, Pistol Puff, and Finnegan Mask at the rear. Couple of stablemates at the back, maybe closers. We're not going to let anyone come up to us, and we're going to push out really early, and we're just going to go for this. And do we get caught? Do we falter? Do we flag at this stage? Zamakot is coming now strong with a mile to go. They're actually not going to get up. The closer is Finnegan's Mask. Not really making superb headway on us. And we might be a 7-furlong horse. I'm not too sure, but we booked Eves Morton at a mile because there wasn't anything at 7 I liked. And I just feel that kind of suited too. So maybe they like both. Maybe it wasn't an amazing group, but we dominated at 7 and still got up to 8. I do think we're more 7 than Mile. I do. But we have just won a couple. And the best thing is, just by running these grade 3s early, this is something I've come to think about more as well. And I think it's worth pointing out to everybody right now. Because your 3-year-olds on this schedule would not have a long build-up in like grade 1s and not really grade 2s in a Mile 1, it's worth just running whatever you can while you're waiting for distances to pop and everything else. Just run anything you can. If it's a conditions race, some of those are like the forum feature races are conditions or handicaps, just run them. You're still likely to get the jump in potential if you run them well. The little grade 3s and grade 2s that you might think are beneath you when you've already won grade 1s and 2s, but they can still develop your horse. A 7 rating points up to a 111, and we've almost maxed out Eve Morton's potential, and we're on the 1st of February. And so while we're just waiting around and trying to figure out all these details, oh yeah, we had more than one runner. Spoiler alert, they won. But yeah, while you're doing this, and just waiting, and you're seeing do they jump, how they run, we are getting ourselves into good positions and developing. It's a grade 3. It's a dead heat. Okay, but we are already above 80 potential with Eve's Water and a little more to go. And Hague's Candy, we're starting to creep over that 70 towards a 75. Very nice looking horse. We'll kind of see what they can do, but that's a grade 2 on a 2-year-old again. Really early. 93 rating. So we are going well. We're doing kind of what we need to do. Let's go to Santa Anita and watch this. I would watch the replays the other two, but they've been very janky lately. So, yeah, a little grade 3, 6 furlong. It's probably not a great field. And I just feel like we should be easily the best horse here. So again, it all depends how we run it and how we cope with the occasion and whatnot. But Mandy Skip out at the front. Dawn Pursuit's falling back a little, and Peace just in 3rd place. From deep, we got Tigress, Chorister, Guardian, and Pursuits. Are any going to come up? Inside the final furlong, Mandy Skip is going to power in a little bit, but they're not distancing, and half a furlong from home, Hague Morton is going to want to just come a little alive, pushing on and taking it. Not really much in it. Didn't feel like an amazing run either. I believe that's the only run today. If I'd just skipped more races, I'd be really kind of pissed at myself, But yeah, we're just trying to see, can we gain potential? Are we waiting for the jump? What's our ratings going up to? Keeping an eye on the horse's development in a few different places. But yeah, that's a pretty good start to the season, I think. We've got ourselves 2 first-time maidens. The second-time maiden's got a grade 3 and is looking good. We've got a grade 2 on another. We got a grade 3 to come for 5e. And then 2 wins on Eves Morton, 2 on Eves Water. A second place so far with runs still to come for Morton Eve and Candy Star. And wins Reef Seeker and Stardrum with runs to come from them. So maybe nothing crazy happening yet. But we are in a place of comfortability. And like I say, everybody's getting runs, everybody's getting a chance to do something, and maybe, just maybe, a chance to really show what they've got. So Modern Eve. Yeah, we're up against a grade 1. This is going to be a test then against Rosary Hammer. 100%. I do think we like a mile. Little rain, another little variable thrown in there. So Santa Anita. And we're up towards the front. We've got Anita Traffic and Piccadilly Donut with us. Back to Polly Magic and Rosary Hammer. The stablemates on the outside of them. Bilbao Aldini and Starscope Macrae at the rear half. A mile to go on the back stretch. Round this left-hand turn. And Rosary is coming on decently there. We're going to kick on them 1.5 from home. The entire field is with us. It's not like we're blowing them away. It's not like we're outstripping them, but Anita Traffic's coming. They don't seem to be catching us too quickly. Rosary Hammer, the grade 1 winner, in third. 3 more kind of finish almost as one, and Starscope at the rear. And yeah, it's just another very useful run for Modern Eve. It's a grade 2. It's a nice little mile. And we knew the distance would suit, so that's kind of cool. Puts us into a good place. Don't really gain too much from it, apart from rating. 10 rating points. Up to a 109. And if nothing else, if we jumped to a mile 2 and didn't run before the Kentucky Derby, that rating probably guarantees us entry. Even if we put all our 3-year-olds in it, as long as they're all like 105 or above, I think we get in. So that 109 on its own doesn't mean much. But when there's too many horses for a race, the lowest rated get bumped. And so the fact that we are 109 means a lot more than 99. That could be your entry right there. And it is another win. It is another win. We've got 2 second places, and we've got the maiden, which isn't really a bad loss in any way, especially since we won the other maiden. So 12 or 15. Things are going quite well. Almost 600 grand on the year already. And we got Hague 5e. And we got Candy Star. So this is the one I want to see us win well. Youngest horse, but we're on weight with everyone because we're a grade 1. They're all ungraded. We're the best horse in the field. We're the highest rated. We've got the best form. There's a couple others that are kind of nice form. A lot of laid back horses. A lot of them have decent ratings. But they haven't won a grade at age 7. I don't think there's going to be too much. But again, it's turf and it's rain. And these are kind of variables that we don't sometimes come up against when we see our general races. Because we tend to go for the same ones. We do have Ben Madigan, Ridach in second place with Signa Peak, Far Gambit, Claude Stick, Christopher Kale, and back to Starburst Delphi. And then Dickness Landing just disappearing from view right now on the outside, coming up strong though. And again, 2 from home, not even finishing the bend, coming onto the home stretch. Candy Star is going out and is starting to try and give us that performance. You can see that we are slowly losing Claude Stick. I would like a bit more pace, but half a furlong from home, Belusca Monti fighting, clawing, driving, steaming down the home stretch. But at the end, Candy Star accelerated just a little bit to stop them closing the gap, which means, to me, I think there's a little bit more in that tank. And that was pretty comfortable. That was the race I was hoping to see out of Candy Star. 2.5, probably, if we were really just pushing and we didn't let up a little, I think 3.5 to 4. It's a really nice winning margin. Grade 2, mile 2, looked good, felt good. Up to a 116 again, just sort of solidifying our place in the derby if we want it. An 80 potential filled out. I feel pretty good about where they are. My only issue is they don't start well, and the acceleration's a little low compared to some of our other horses. I'm used to like 90s for speed, acceleration, and start. I think we're good here. We just don't have a ton of extra speed. I like our cruising burst. I like our distance adaptability and just all-round sort of quality. I do feel if I had to pick someone to go after the Triple Crown right now, it would be Candy Star. I just think the best out of all our 3-year-olds, and already is at that distance with an adaptability. Yeah, might not be saying much, but that is kind of just living up to the hype, really. That is, it's living up to the hype for me. Hague 5e, I think this is just a 5 furlong, grade 3. Bit of a slow start, not running great there on the bend. Not really kicking on much. And yeah, I think that start kind of put us behind. We didn't really have too much about us, but stayed on the same pace, didn't have the pace get in the race. Okay. Okay. Could mean wants to go to 6. That could mean it wants to go to 6. Could also mean it's just not that fast. At the end of the day, oh my God. I've kind of stopped looking at auctions, but no one again is worth looking at auctions. Shell Maneuver. A little over 2, nobody bidding. Nope. Okay, mine. And then Tella Joanna is a grade 2. Only ever won one race in 13 attempts, 118 rated. Probably too high a price. But laid back in a mile 4, I like. And we don't care about the money. There's always a chance. Yeah, okay. A lot of 5th, 3rd, some money in some pretty good races. And even here, just 3rd, 2nd, 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 3rd. Not big races, couple of grade 3s, allowance conditions, maidens. But if things had gone slightly different, they'd won some of these, maybe they would have been better in others and just steamrolled it. I just feel that when they hit grade 3s, they really struggled until they went to a mile 4. The Jockey Club Derby, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's really not bad. Over 70 extra speed, full finish, 70% potential, 60+% cruising burst. It's worth having. And that's the one that didn't look like anything. Really, one grade 2, and like 13 races, only one win, which was that grade 2. And then probably a mile. Okay, we stepped outside of a mile quite often and didn't do much. But a mile 2, we won. Third at a mile 1, second at a mile 2, 1 at a mile 1, 1 at a mile 2, 1 at a mile 2. Yeah, so kind of seeing a pattern there. Not too shabby. And yeah, not so much cruising burst, but 80% extra speed, full finish, solid potential rating. They're not the best in the world by any stretch of the imagination. You compare them to Candania Terry. I think most people would prefer Terry, or especially Violetta, but that's kind of like cheating because I look at 3 stats and we got 2 full bars and an 80%. So like, it's gonna be tough to do that. Kind of just want to breed them both with Hague. I just think that might make sense to me. Huh. A surprising trip to the auction. A little delay makes us run a little longer than we should again, but Unbeaten Eve Secret, San Vicente, a grade 2, like top rated, top weighted, up against a grade 1. Little test for certain. And again, another 7 furlong, which I think we like. And if we lose, I'm praying we see a message that we're beginning to pick up. But not because I want to run a mile, but because I want to look at the profile and see that stamina bar, because I've got 2 potentials for the Derby right now that I'm happy with. Eve Secret is my 3rd favourite, and I really want to see them jump and be a part of that conversation. Love to see them all, but the next one I want is Eve Secret. And we're comfortable, we're driven out, we're not really under threat. We're still distancing from 2nd place. It's all really nice and comfortable. And it's a solid little grade 2 win. I don't feel that there was an amazing horse there that was pushing us. You know, Greta has won 2 grade 1s, both as a 2-year-old and at a shorter distance, but they have won the Santa Ynez. So the San Vicente is right there alongside it. Definitely not a bad horse, and we won by such a distance. Kind of feel that that is a good horse. It's what I think it is. I just don't know if it's ever gonna jump, but with already 85, 86 potential, chance to get a tiny bit more. The fully rounded out 75% extra speed, full finish application. No distance adaptability, so if we don't jump, then I'm guessing we just try and run 7 furlong and miles and just like pick a best course with Eve Secret. And if Drom doesn't really jump, we do the same there. If nobody jumps, I mean, we'll have Modern Eve and Stardrom, maybe Eve Secret at a mile. And they look really, really solid. Like Stardrom and Eve Secret, I think are really good. Modern Eve, I'm not entirely convinced about. And then we'd have Eve's Secret, Eve's Water and Eve's Morton at 7 furlong. It'd be really congested around the 7 furlong 1 mile. And then just Candy Star at a mile 2. So kind of is what it is. Kind of is what it is. Right, let's get Hague breeding with Anna. At least that's set up. And now we've got, yeah, the Saudi Cup. We're not in that, but yeah. I'm just wondering if someone like Stardrom maybe could have gone into this Saudi derby. Kind of wondering about that. That would have been a real test. Instead, we got this little fountain of youth, which I'm not entirely sure, but the distance is kind of right. It's a little bit extra, and we'll have to see kind of how we do, but yeah. I'm wondering if I should have just really pushed and gone out to Saudi for that. Huh. It's a bit too late to kind of think about it now. Bolton DeLond. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, no conditions races, no allowance races. And like booking really a lot at the start of the year. Usually this is either a good, like a really good horse, or they're trying to prep for something big like the Kentucky Derby, which I'm not sure they are because of the distances. So we've got a grade 2 and a grade 3, who have each come from a grade 1 winner. This is definitely one to watch. This is definitely one to watch. Maiden by a couple. Only lost that on a short head. Okay. Won that tightly. Half a length back. And then 2.5. So as we're moving up the distances, yeah, okay. The two grade 2s are the two most impressive for me. Because that's like a pretty big jump and not to race start to the end. I like that. I like this. Red Silk's yellow sleeve. That's who I'm watching. Keep an eye on ourselves, but Bolton DeLond. Okay. They're up there in that second group against the rail, just in behind Simpson Princess and Prosecco Kutsov. We are up the top end. Drover Slayer is just there on the outside with Sonus Luck, Finnegan, Mask as well in there. Back to Mullalte Phil, Permanism Greeley, and Qualinus Editor. Down now then to the final 1.5, and no surprise to me, Bolton is there. Do they kick on? What have they got? Final furlong. They're going to step out and they're going to start coming. Dover Slayer as well from deep. Do they have anything? It doesn't look like they got a massive kick at the end there. They kept on, just about got up to take second place. That's a really interesting way of booking. They're so close together. Like they should be tired out their mind, but usually when I see this, the game just knows something. The game just knows something. Dover Slayer, similar, but conditions racing. So they're testing and they're moving and racing a lot as a 2-year-old, not just concentrating on 3-year-old. They're going to be in the Kentucky Derby or the Preakness. More likely the Preakness, but I think probably both. Stardrom, really solid, good run. Got up, everything looks good. Solid potential, just, yeah. Kind of expected everything there and delivered. So very happy. And we do have a horse to keep an eye on. And we got Modern Eve, who we just figured out a little bit with an injury. A little tired, 2 weeks. That won't be too bad. Hopefully, they won't be too bad. So have a look at Deadly Roscoe. Grade 1 sire and not excitable. Let's go a little over 500,000. Should get us the horse. Deadly Roscoe. You can just go. So yeah, that's going to be the episode for today. Yeah, hope you enjoyed like the stream of consciousness thinking and speaking while I'm in the middle of things, trying to figure out stuff. But I do feel like we're in a good place right now. The 2-year-olds don't look bad. Like I say, the fact that they're already kind of at 70, Hague 5e needs a good run and is almost there. Hague Candy just over, Hague Morton already on 70, so that's a good jump for their 3-year-olds. So Modern Eve is a mile. Eve's Morton might be a mile. Eve's Secret, 7 furlong, but I think could easily get a mile. Eve's Water, probably more 7 furlong. Stardrom, a mile, but possibly could move up to a mile 1. And Candy Star's the only one we've got on distance. We're waiting for people to jump. But if this is the only one we've got with these bars, with the adaptability, I'm not sure how confident I would be. I really want to fill out that potential before we get to the Kentucky Derby, if possible, which is going to be tough. But if this was our runner, and it looks like right now that is our runner, then I think I'd be okay with that. So let me know how you feel. Comment section down below. Like I say, like button, subscribe button, please do hit. I will see you back here again soon for more racing and more fun and games. Memberships are available as well, so check those out if you're able and willing. But until next time, stay safe, take care, all the best to you. I hope you find your next runner.